Benny Blanco, one of the most successful songwriters of the past decade. Over a dozen #1 singles, multiple Grammy wins, and the Songwriter of the Year award. He's written massive hits like Payphone, Teenage Dream, Moves Like Jagger, TikTok, Love Yourself, and he's worked with some of the biggest names in music. Ed Sheeran, Selena Gomez, Britney Spears, SZA, and many more. As songwriters, what can we learn from someone this insanely talented? How can we craft songs that grab the attention of millions of listeners, just like Benny does? Because let's be honest, writing one #1 hit could be luck, but writing over a dozen, that's a repeatable process. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the 5 songwriting techniques that Benny Blanco uses to create hit after hit. I'm going to be sharing with you specific examples to how I've used those songwriting techniques of Benny Blanco into my own songwriting. Hey, Danny here from Songwriters International. If you're new here, welcome. We help songwriters develop their craft by sharing tips, tricks, and techniques on all things songwriting so that you can go and write your best possible songs. And you'll want to stick around to the end of this video because what you're about to learn can literally transform your songwriting. So let's dive in. So #1 is the secret of melodic placement. Now, in all of Benny's songs, they are true melodic masterpieces. They are so catchy, engaging, and hooky. Well, I studied 4 of Benny's #1 hit songs that we all know. And those 4 songs were Love Yourself, Moves Like Jagger, Diamond, and Teenage Dream. And the very interesting thing that I found is that they all come in at different beats of the chorus. So I created this very simple graph for you that visually represents the placement of the chorus relative to the beat of the 4 songs. So you can see here Diamond by Rihanna. This comes in just before the beat, before beat 1 of the chorus. Love Yourself by Justin Bieber also comes in before the beat 1 of the chorus. Teenage Dream by Katy Perry falls on the beat 1 of the chorus. And finally here, Moves Like Jagger by Maroon 5 falls after beat 1 of the chorus. So I often refer to this as before the beat, on the beat, and after the beat. And the very interesting thing, having listened to all of the different songs by Benny, is that on the chorus, the placement changes. So I've got my guitar out here because I want to give you a specific example to how the chorus can feel completely different by just moving the placement of the chorus. So let's first of all fall before the beat. 1, 2, 3. I don't know why you call so late at night when I'm all alone. Now on that example, the I don't know, the word why followed on the beat, but everything else was before the first hit of the chorus. Now on this second example, we're going to fall on the beat. 3. I don't know why you call me up so late at night. Well, finally, in this third example, we're going to try coming in after the beat. So we're going to play the chord and then we're going to land in after that. I don't know why every time you call it's so late at night. So now you can see how we changed up the chorus by simply just moving the placement of where we come in relative to the first beat of the chorus. Let's jump on into songwriting technique #2, and it's the hit song Sit in the Revision. In a recent interview, Benny Blanco revealed a crucial secret to his success, and it was that so many different versions of these songs build up. In one of the interviews, he plays songs like Moves Like Jagger, Diamonds, and Dynamite by Taio Cruz. And each version was just an extra progression on the version before, and it was constantly being revisited, constantly being retweaked. The simple takeaway is to never settle for your first draft. You will never know how much better a song can be until you decide you'll actively push it forwards. I want you to experiment, tweak, and refine, because that's truly when the magic happens. I had this exact same situation in my own song. In the first draft that I had for the opening line of the verse, I had the following lyric of I wish I could hold you. And I simply wasn't happy with that, so I tweaked it and it became I want to be your bodyguard. And I continued to rework it and I got I wish we weren't strangers. But I knew deep down there was something more. It didn't quite land, and instead of sitting with that and accepting that that was the final version, I carried on pushing it. So then the final version was I wish I was the glass you're holding, bringing me closer to your lips every time you take a sip. And that was my wow moment, where everything clicked and I knew why I kept pushing that lyric. And that is the true power of revision. Keep pushing the lyric, the melody, the production until you don't land on something that is good, but something that is great. Songwriting tip number 3 is to lock in your hook before the lyrics. Benny Blanco prioritizes melody first, solidifying the catchiest, most memorable part of the song. And that's before finalizing the lyrics. In a recent interview where he was playing some of his biggest songs, for example that of Moves Like Jagger, the lyrics that were being sung didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Instead, the demo was just filled with mumble words, syllables and phonetics that just felt right, and the core melody was already locked in. For example, in that song Moves Like Jagger, one of the key parts of that song is the section where it goes, I got the moves like Jagger. In the first draft that he plays in the interview, that hook is in there, it's solidified, and it's already been written. But the lyrics and everything else that accompanied that didn't make sense and were not the right and finished version. It's the same with the song Payphone by Maroon 5. The melody was locked in, but throughout the different recordings, the lyrics were always changing. And in a recent interview, Benny actually said this: in the early drafts of these songs, there's always the right consonants, syllables, phonetics in the song, but everything else around that is not yet complete. And the lyrics and the story can evolve later, but the hook has to be concreted in at the beginning. I actually tried this approach in one of my own songs. Instead of focusing on lyrics first, I just mumbled on a melody until I found something that felt truly perfect. So I first started off with this particular melody. And then on the second draft of the song, I then stumbled across the word Hollywood, which really landed very well in that chorus. Something like this. Something out of Hollywood. Something out of Hollywood. And then I started to shape my lyrics around the already existing melody. And then this is the final version that I got. 1, 2, 3, 4. You look like something out of Hollywood. Baby, let me take you there. Cameras flashing everywhere. You look like something out of Hollywood. Fame and fortune in your hands, glitz and glam and golden sands. And baby, you look just like Hollywood. And in that particular example, it's where we put two of the songwriting techniques of Benny's together. Number one, identifying the hook and then building the lyrics. But secondly as well, revising the song and constantly wanting to tweak it to push it to the best of its ability. Songwriting technique number 4 is static melodies, the foundation for a great song. So let's dive into this concept which Benny Blanco uses for a lot of his songs, which is static melody. Now, what is a static melody? A static melody stays on the same note or within a very limited movement throughout the verse. It holds steady and shifts the focus on the lyric rather than melodic movement. Now, why are static melodies used so commonly in a lot of these hit songs? Well, first of all, they create space for the chorus to feel bigger and more dynamic and give the chance for impact to hit harder. And the static melody doesn't move very much, so it gives this chance for almost a musical explosion to happen when these choruses hit. So if we first of all go through Teenage Dream by Katy Perry. You think I'm pretty without any makeup on, and da 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 pun stain dong, and da 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 da. The next example is Diamonds by Rihanna, and that's static melody in the verse. Shine bright in the beautiful day, I told to be happy. You and I, well, like diamonds in the sky. You're the dew and the star I see, vision of ecstasy. And finally, let me give you the example of Payphone by Maroon 5. I know it's hard to remember that it used to be. It's even harder to picture that you're not here next to me. Da 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 naked Is it too late to try? The great thing about a static melody, you do not need to overcomplicate it. They are super simple to create. They are simply just a melody that does not move very much, but the focus shifts on the lyric more so than the melodic movement. So that's where we're really going to get into the lyrical detail. We're really going to paint the picture for the listeners. So I'm going to give you an example here of how I'm going to go from a static melody into a big chorus to create that musical explosion and that melodic explosion that is so commonly used in a Benny Blanco song. Da 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 da, yeah. Da 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 da. So we're still static here. Da 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 da. Chorus. 1, 2, 3. So I don't know why every time you walk away, no, I can hear the words you're saying. Now I will try, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, if you feel like falling, if you let me down, then static. All this time, looking round, down to say the words. And into songwriting technique number 5. When you look at the structure of Benny Blanco's #1 hit songs, you'll see a fairly common pattern. And it looks like this: a verse into a pre-chorus, into a chorus, into a verse 2, then he goes back into the pre-chorus, the chorus, he'll then use a bridge, and then finally into a big chorus. The great thing is it's simple, it's effective, it's repetitive, and it works. This is why hooks are so important in a Benny Blanco song, because the hooks are being repeated so frequently throughout the song. Without a great hook, the songs will simply just fade away. If we look at the pre-chorus and chorus, they're repeated throughout the songs, and the structures that Benny's using, they're being repeated in total somewhere between 3 to 6 times in a song. And that's simply because repetition is key to solidifying the hooks in the listener's head, and you have to feed the listener those hooks time and time again. So when you're going into structuring your song, you really want to be going on a hook focused structure rather than that of a folk form structure or an A-B form structure, which typically doesn't really consist of catchiness and hookiness, but more story focused songs. And with that, you're going to increase the chances of the listener catching on to your song, the chorus, the pre-choruses, the main parts that you want to draw them in with. Benny Blanco is absolutely insane when it comes to songwriting and incredibly talented. And I love diving into his processes and using these steps into my own songs to increase the chances of writing a hit track. Now there's another songwriter that Benny works a lot with, and that guy is called Max Martin. Max, to date at the time of recording this, is the songwriter with the most #1s, which sits around 32 #1 hit songs that he's written to date. And quite a few of those songs have been written directly with Benny. So I've done a video where I walk you through the entire process of that of Max Martin and how he has been able to repeatedly use a process that gets him great songs time and time again. So somewhere around here you'll see the video to go and watch the Max Martin songwriting process that I've put together, so you can put that of Benny and that of Max together when it comes to songwriting and create something incredibly unique. These are the 2 best songwriters of modern times, so I really suggest that you understand both of their processes so you can increase your chances of writing great songs.